Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Katerina, or Kat if you're new here, and this is my little cozy corner of the internet. And the last time I did a video was 9 months ago, and I did not plan on going on this hiatus, but it happened. Here we are, and I'm really excited about this video because it's a reading vlog, obviously my favorite videos to make, and it is what I realistically read in a week with a almost toddler. It's crazy to think that in a few weeks our daughter is going to be a year old already. Like, it just blows my mind because the last time I did a reading vlog, it was 9 months ago, and it was what I realistically read in a week with a newborn. But how I read is definitely going to be different because if you go back and watch that video, obviously as a newborn, she was sleeping a lot, like 90% of the day, and so I was able to finish, 3 or 4 books in that video. Now, definitely very different. She is awake 90% of the day, except for right now she is down for her one and only nap, which is usually around an hour and a half long. And so getting reading in during the day is really difficult. She is a great sleeper at night though, so she goes to bed at about 7:30, 8 o'clock at night and doesn't wake up until 7:30, 8 in the morning. So I do have a really good chunk of reading time at night as well. But how many books I get done in a week is definitely different. Getting reading in then was a lot easier. Now I'm back at work. I obviously have a full-time job, so getting reading in is a little bit more difficult because the only times I really now have to read are really early in the morning before she gets up and at night when she goes to bed. So I do have 2 books that I am currently reading, one of which I might switch out just because it is a heavier or denser book. One is A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping by Sangu Mandana. This is a buddy read that I'm doing with a really good friend of mine. We've been buddy reading a few different books every single month, and it's been really, really great. It's just really gotten me back into reading. This is actually starting out to be really fun. This is a book that's sort of out of my comfort zone. Obviously, as you know, I'm not a big romance reader. However, the little bit of magicalism in it is definitely piquing my interest. And the other book that I am reading that I'm hoping to finish in this vlog, if it doesn't become too dense for me, is The Devils by Joe Abercrombie. This is my first book by Joe Abercrombie. I didn't really know which universe of his to go into first. So far, I'm only 68 pages in. It's like a 500-page book. It is very funny. The humor is quite dark. You really need to enjoy dark humor, and the humor is there. I'm loving the characters. These characters are all messed up in every single way possible, and I think that's why I'm enjoying it so much. But these are the books that I'm planning to hopefully read in this vlog. I literally now probably only have 45 minutes before she's going to be awake again. Let's do this. I don't know what I just read. I literally just read like 10 pages of the most gruesome, goriest, bloodiest, most disturbing fight, scene, battle that I have ever read before. And when I'm saying gore, I mean, if you've ever seen the movie 300, that is kind of like the depiction that you're really getting. It's very vibrant, in your face. The dialogue and the prose in this book is what's really captured me because of the fact that the way that Joe Abercrombie is writing, he's very intentional with his words, and he's very intentional with his conversations and how he depicts certain things. So I'm going to continue reading. Well, it looks like we are awake. So I got a good hour of reading in, which has brought me to page, 105? We are awake. We are sitting up. All right, time to go get her. Good morning, guys. So it is now Sunday. It is, what time is it? It is almost 10:30, so O will be probably finishing her nap up here very, very soon. So I thought I'd give you guys a little bit of a reading update. But yesterday, I didn't read as much as I had mentally thought I was going to read. I read around, 100 and some pages yesterday morning, and then in the afternoon when she was up, we played, we went to the pool, came back. She had another really good nap, which is very rare. Usually her second nap is like anywhere from 30 minutes to it can be an hour, and she actually took an hour nap, and I got a few pages of reading in, but I was honestly exhausted after the pool. And then when she went to bed last night, I did not read at all because I was actually getting ready for today because we are going to the zoo. So I'm currently only at page 150 of The Devils, and I am enjoying this so much. I don't know what it is about Abercrombie's writing. Because of his unique writing and how he really encaptures you, it's so easy to fly through the pages. Now granted, obviously I wish I was reading it a little bit faster, but I'm enjoying the characters, I'm enjoying the story, I'm enjoying the plot. I'm just really enjoying this reading experience overall. So that's my reading update. So I think it's time to give you guys another reading update because it has been a few days that I haven't given any reading update or really shown that I have been reading, which I promise I have been, well, except for yesterday I maybe only read a few pages, and we're getting towards the end of the week, as in like a few days it will be Sunday again. So I was reading The Devils by Joe Abercrombie. I'm really enjoying this. I did get halfway. It's going great. It's an adventure, it's a ride, it's something different. However, it was getting tedious in the sense that it is big, it is a fantasy, has a lot of world building, a lot of character development, and so I needed to kind of switch my focus to something lighter, and so I did, as you saw, I didn't pick up, start, but I did continue my read-along Witch's Guide to a Magical Innkeeping by Sangu Mandana, and I am loving this so much. It is quick, it is fun, it is easy, it's heartwarming. I'm loving the characters. I'm just loving the dynamic of it. It is very slow, like it is very much a day-to-day kind of life at some points, and sometimes we do kind of steer away from the plot, but at the end of the day, I'm picking this up for the enjoyment and the coziness of it, not for elaborate world building. That's my reading update. That's what we are currently working with. So we are at the end of this reading vlog. We have made it a week of what I realistically read in a week with a toddler. So to give you guys a reading wrap up of what I read this week, I ended up finishing A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping by Sangu Mandana. I just really enjoyed this. If you are wanting a laid back, cozy, magical book that takes place in a little cottage, technically a cottage inn, and gives you cottagecore vibes with all the cozy seasons, spring, summer, fall, and winter all wrapped up in one, definitely recommend this. I ended up giving it a 4-star. I ended up finishing this. This was how many pages? 335 pages, so I read 335 pages. Plus, I ended up getting really far into The Devils by Joe Abercrombie. I ended up getting in 398 pages into The Devils, which puts me at almost a little over 700 pages during this reading vlog. So these are the books that I ended up picking up when I finished and when I got almost 400 pages into, putting me at around a little over 700 pages for what I've realistically read with an almost toddler. My reading has definitely changed in the last year, that is for sure. Last year when I was pregnant, I was finishing maybe 2 books a week, and then when I was, in the newborn trenches with our daughter, I think I was also still finishing 2 to 3 books a week. Now I probably, if I'm really ambitious, can finish 1 book. Most of the time I'm reading every week and a half of a month, so I'm only really finishing 3 to 4 books now a month. Throw in some graphic novels and I'm finishing around maybe 6 to 7 books a month. Definitely different than a year ago where I was finishing 8 to 10 books in a month. It's not a bad thing. Life changes. You just kind of got to get used to it, and it's definitely been an adjustment for me to make sure that I'm making time for myself, as well as obviously, taking care of an almost toddler and everything. But it's not a bad thing. Like, not being able to read a lot hasn't affected me. In fact, I think sometimes it's a good thing. I'm not stuck to a numbers game anymore. I honestly don't care about how many books I read in a year anymore, let alone in a month. And honestly, it's actually pushed me to pick books more intentionally, books that maybe I would avoid, something like The Devils that is big, I would have avoided because of the fact that it was too big and I wouldn't be able to get to it in a month, and I would, be behind in my monthly quota of books. Now I really just don't care about those type of things. So I am enjoying what I'm reading, and yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely give it a thumbs up if you did. Leave in the comments below anything. You can tell me about how life is. You can tell me what you've been reading this fall. I want to hear it. I want to know about it. Catch me up in the comments below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!
When the wild winds blow through